Hey y'all, I'm your host sincerely, Jasmine.
And I'm your boy Ed Hip.
And you're now tuned into cultural behavior, where every element has a seat at the table. So today we're joined with our special guest, JiJi. Can I call you JiJi?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. JiJi, aka the Fashion Analyst. So how are you guys today?
I'm great.
You go first.
I'm amazing. I mean, I'm here, so I'm excited.
I know, I'm here. I almost wasn't here, but I made it here. So here we are.
This whole entire morning was kind of crazy because last night I was at a listening party.
Mm-hmm.
And
You always somewhere, bro.
Listen, and I got in at like 2 a.m. and I'm like, I gotta remember I have to be up. I got to be at the studio in the morning, and I have to act like I went to bed on time. So it's like, now I'm like, at this point, I'm ready for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited to meet you, and I'm glad you're here.
Oh,
I know. I'm so excited to finally get to meet you.
Yeah.
So I've been following you on Instagram, and if you check out the Philly influencer hashtag, you are one of the top hits on there.
What? I didn't even know that.
Yes.
That's crazy.
You gotta search yourself sometimes.
Jeez.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
y'all check out the hashtag Philly influencer, and I promise you're going to see the fashion analysis come up. So tell us a little bit about you and your brand and.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm JiJi Halisi. I blog at fashionanalyst.com. I am a fashion and lifestyle blogger, and blogging has kind of started growing different avenues for me. So now I have my own podcast. I now have a shoe business, and I just started a Black influencer community. So yeah.
So what's the name of that community?
It's called Black Influence. I literally just launched it at the beginning of this week.
Okay.
I feel that I haven't been blogging for a long time or influencing for a long time. It'll be 4 years in October. And
That's a long
That's a long
time.
time.
Really?
Yes,
I feel like a
that's
baby in this game.
That's a long
no,
time.
No. I thought you was gonna say 4 months.
Right, I thought you was
That's
going
a
to say
baby.
4 months, and that's I've talked to people that's 4 months in, so that's a
Wow.
long time.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I'm grateful for that revelation. But I realized that when I was being invited to these different events, I don't see a lot of people who look like me, and that bothers me. And so I realized, okay, if you see a problem, instead of complaining about it, do something to fix it. So this week I launched Black Influence, which is an Instagram site. And yeah, I'm just giving tips, tricks, things that I learned along the way to be where I am now. So hopefully I'll inspire
that's
somebody
really
else.
dope. That's really
I'm
dope.
inspired.
Hey,
That's
all
why I need to know
right.
the name of it.
All right,
I love
yeah.
Black communities. I love seeing people who look like me, people
Yeah.
who do the same things as me in the same group.
Right.
It's definitely beneficial for the people that is up and coming to see that some of us are still trying.
Yeah.
And we're still using each other to get where we need to be. So that's
Exactly.
definitely dope.
Facts.
Definitely. It kind of makes me think about, and this is my favorite quote to reference. I don't know it word by word, but Issa Rae said as far as networking, particularly in the Black community, we tend to network upward. And that's when you kind of see yourself getting into these rooms and sitting at these tables with people that don't really look like you,
Yeah.
because you're trying to meet with the CEO, you're trying to meet with the director.
Right.
You're not
Absolutely.
necessarily trying to meet with the
Right.
people who are like you, and just looking for the next opportunity. So it's I think a platform that allow people to network across and in our same niche. So that's kind of the same type of vibe that we trying to provide. So I love
Awesome.
that.
I love it.
I love that. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you've been blogging for 4 years.
It'll be 4 years in October. My gosh, time
Oh,
flies.
wow.
Time
To be
flies.
exact, huh?
Yeah,
What
to be
was
exact.
your beginning topics? Where
Okay. So I started I first started in 2014. I didn't tell a lot of people this, but y'all are special.
Oh yes.
I started back in 2014 with a Facebook blog called Review Fashion and Fitness, where I just kind of needed an outlet because I always found myself talking about different fashion news and things that I found. And the people in my circle, they were just like, girl, I don't want to hear that. So I was like, fine, I'm going to take my talent to the internet.
Right.
So, yeah, I started that Facebook group. And once I hit my first 1,000 followers on Facebook, I was like, okay, maybe I need to find a way to make money from this.
Right.
And so I launched Review Fashion and Fitness on an actual website. And my first blog post, girl, guy. Let me just tell you, I was so excited because it was right around the time Beyonce dropped her self-titled album. And I was like, you know what? In order to be different, I'm going to do something crazy. So me and my best friend, we created a blog post where for each track of the Beyonce album, we created a cocktail that kind of like matched the vibe of the song.
That's decent.
Listen, I was hype about it. I was like, this going to be lit. People going to love it. And the first comment on that blog post was a negative one.
Oh, gosh.
Of course it was. That means you was doing something right.
But at the time, I didn't know, and it crushed me. And so I stopped blogging for a whole year. I was like, you know what? Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe, you know, I know my grammar isn't always right. Maybe my photos weren't good. But maybe this just isn't the avenue I should take.
Right.
About a year later, in 2015, I was like, you know what, screw y'all. Like, I'm going to do me. Like, I've never lived my life based off of what other people thought about me. And I didn't understand why I was starting now.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, I'm going to relaunch it, but I'm going to rebrand it as well. And that's when the Fashion Analyst was born.
Oh, wow.
Good story, though. I mean,
That's a crazy background.
I know, right?
And to think that the negativity really made you back away from it is crazy because, but it's so common.
Yeah.
And a lot of us have, like, platforms that's, like, not real.
Yes.
You know, some people like come into play saying like, oh, I'm this type of individual.
Right.
And then they battle with trying to be that person off of the internet. So it's really good to know who you are.
Right. And that you stuck with your passion.
Right. Absolutely.
That's the key point.
That's
right
a solid
here.
calling.
Yeah.
Do you remember that comment? What did it say?
It was like a shady joint on like Twitter. So it was like, just at me, bro. Just at me because I know you're talking about me. So the comment was like, it was something like on the lines of like, you be great. Oh, that's what it was. It was just like, you be great. I'm going to just let you be great. That's what it was.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, solid.
Was it the Beehive?
Right.
No, it wasn't.
Because you know the Beehive.
It wasn't. Listen, I got great feedback, but I've learned like sometimes you can get 110 amazing comments supporting you, and then that one comment that's negative will just blow you.
Yeah. And it sticks out.
Listen, I can't even tell you guys all the good feedback that I did get from it. I can tell you the
that
negative one.
Negative one that got you to stop.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So yeah.
But that goes, like you say, that goes to show that it's always that moment where chase your dreams, like, you know, pursue your dreams, follow your dreams, even if you got to take a break and just let your passion get back to you. It's like, if that's your purpose, like stick with it. Like, so that's a great story and like theme there. So that's good.
Awesome.
I have a question though.
Sure.
So when it comes to, you know, you were saying like you were working in certain places where you didn't see people who look like you. How do you feel now about being around those individuals where you see people who look like you with the hair, making fashion statements? Like, how does that make you feel?
I mean, it makes me feel amazing, but then that also, you know, I think a lot. And when I see people who look like me, it makes me happy. But then that makes me also question, is this a diversity move or is this an inclusion move? Ooh. Which are two different things.
Whoa.
That's a topic.
Wait,
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. 100%. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't understand there's a difference between diversity and inclusion. Diversity means I'm going to invite you here so when they take pictures, I look good in front of everybody because I have people that don't look like me. Right?
Yeah.
Inclusion is when not only do I want you around me, but I want you on my... Exactly. I want you on my board of directors. I want you to, like, be a manager. I want you to be not some basic hire. I don't want you to be a... Exactly. I want you to call shots. I want to hear your opinion. I want to make sure that everyone feels like they're a part of this and can be represented in this brand. I don't want you for a look. And that's where I am right now. Like, making sure that people are learning what they need to learn. Right. Specifically, Black people know what they need to learn in the influencer industry so that they can be included and not just a prop. So, yeah.
And I think that's a big thing, like particularly in the influencer, this blogger arena, in the entertainment industry in general, where it's like they're inviting us to these things and they're making these things fun for us, and it's so like, you know, culturally appropriate.
Right.
But it's like, is this for us?
Right.
Or is this just to be posted on your Instagram because it looks nice to have 3 pictures of 3 Black girls on your Instagram because you've only it's been whitewashed for years. So I think just like the basis is a lot of these companies and organizations aren't necessarily built with Black minorities in mind as far as being a part of their theme or their motto or their goal.
Right.
And now it's just like, oh, this is cool. Cool right now.
Right.
Oh, they making money. People are
Right,
following them.
right.
They're getting likes. They're getting views. We probably should send them some free stuff.
Right.
And that's the beginning.
Yeah,
honestly, that's
so
where it started with me.
It really is just a point where it's like being conscious and saying, well, am I actually being used? Am I being used?
Right.
You know, so that I think that is very important.
Absolutely.
It also comes with brand acknowledgement. You know, you have to know what
you're
the
working
brand
with.
stands for.
100%.
100%. We could have been saying like, all right, come to cultural behavior and not give you a background.
Right.
You know what I mean? We could have been saying come anywhere, and it was up to you to do the research and say, yes, this furthers who I am right now.
Or this makes sense with my brand. And I think that's really what it all falls down to, like doing things that stick with your brand or stick with your purpose or stick with your ultimate goal.
Yes. 100%.
And not just doing stuff just to do it, just going places just to go. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
you
I
are
agree.
a statement, and I just have to go back on that. You were saying you didn't want to be like the look or just all about looks, but you give statement. So people sometimes jump out at the first thing that they see. The first thing we said to each other was how each other looked.
Right.
You know, we were in the elevator, and she's like, you know, what do you do? I like what you got on, and I'm right there. The same thing. You know, you don't see me, but my hair be crazy.
And here we are.
Right.
So you know, it looks sometimes draw you in, and
Definitely.
you know, sometimes you get sidetracked with people's intention, because the compliments sometimes make your head so much bigger.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot of people who would give me free shoots and give me all these different merch and stuff, and then after that they want me to do some crazy like brand stuff with them, and it's like, I never told you I was capable of this. You know, and that's where you walk away from it, because now you're digging a ditch right now.
Exactly.
You know, so knowing who you are is like I feel like the main thing that I'm going to get from this entire episode.
Yeah.
Because everything that we're speaking about is like just acknowledgement of who yourself is.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And that's major for me.
Yeah.
Because going through the different stages I went through just from working and being around people like you, I've changed looks every 2 weeks. You know, next time you see me, I may not look like this.
Right.
You know, so it's
Same
like
here.
I'm all about look and statement. So, you know, I feel like this is definitely the start of something major. Having somebody here with a visual statement as well as a vocal one.
Yep.
Hey.
Speaking of the visual statement, so this beautiful picture, he's appearing. So tell us about that event. Where were you that night?
Ooh, that was actually my first time going to New York Fashion Week.
Ooh, that's coming up soon.
Yeah. I mean, I was super duper excited. I was like, oh, snaps, like, your girl, I'm making it. And yeah, so I went to New York for a couple of days and I attended some fashion shows, and yeah.
How was that?
You know, I feel that New York Fashion Week it's an interesting event. It's not for me, but that's just me.
Okay.
But I'm glad that I was able to experience it. Not saying that I wouldn't go again, but that particular time, it showed me a lot about what the fashion industry looks like on another level.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So what would you bring to that if you were given an opportunity? Because as an artist, there's a lot of stuff that like we were saying, we're invited to, and we take whatever we felt while being there home with us, whether it's good or bad.
Right.
And we do with that sometimes something and sometimes nothing. But if you were to have an opportunity to bring something to the table in terms of Fashion Week, what would you want to see differently? What would you want to feel?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I want to feel more included. I feel like New York fashion, the fashion industry, period, is different. It's like a different vibe. Like, you spend all your time like trying to get to this certain point, and when you get there, it's like, this is what I worked so hard for.
Yeah.
You know? So, but it was a great experience because it taught me how to not be.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of times when you work hard to get to a certain area, you forget the struggle that got you to that point.
Yeah.
And, you know, not trying to throw anything under the bus or anything like that, because New York Fashion Week was amazing. There's some people who absolutely love it. Me, I prefer to be able to connect with people, talk with people.
Got it.
Identify, that type of thing.
It seems like in all my years experience, I talk like I'm so old, but in all my years experience, I've never made it to New York Fashion Week, and it's just because, like, me personally, I don't like congested events.
Yeah.
I don't like, whether like, and I've been invited for press, I've been invited to attend, like, and it's just like, the congestion, New York's congestion in general already kind of like makes me anxious.
Yeah.
But New York Fashion Week makes me anxious. Like,
and I probably will be there like next weekend because I was invited. But at the end of the day, it's definitely a great experience, and it's a good way to network with people and meet like-minded people.
Absolutely.
But we're gonna take a quick break. And we'll get back to this in a few minutes.
Awesome.
all right. Welcome back. You are tuned into Cultural Behavior Podcast. I am your girl, Sincerely Jasmine.
I'm your boy, Ed Hip, and we are here with JiJi.
Yeah, so we're gonna just jump into some Q&A. Obviously, we got some insight on your brand, but want to know a little bit more about you. So firstly, I know you said that, and this is like backtracking, I know you said that your first blog involved fitness. It was like a fashion and fitness blog.
Right.
So, like, how do you identify, like, as far as, like, what type of blogger do you consider yourself?
I consider myself a fashion and lifestyle, more lifestyle than anything. And there are different types of fashion bloggers. You have like fashion bloggers who are more pop culture, where they keep up with celebrities.
Right.
You have fashion bloggers who are more strictly about news, like what designer or fashion house is coming. Exactly. And then you have your style bloggers, which is like, this is how you wear these outfits.
Right.
I find myself more of the fashion news. So I like finding facts from different sources and blogging about that.
Okay.
You need the facts.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who hear things and just post.
Go
Right.
with it,
You know,
yeah.
Right.
There's
Especially
no censor
fashion.
on factual stuff. You see how we were having that conversation about like having copyrights for like the music and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there should be something where you posting facts and lies about things
Right.
where it can't go through.
Fact check before
unless
you go
Wikipedia
publish it.
check
Right.
off.
Right.
Because
Right.
It's a lot of people who get the slander. And it's like, where did this come from? You know what I mean? So you need those blogs that's like really doing the research and putting it out there.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So
Because I
that's
started as a blogger, and I only blogged events I was actually present for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If I was sitting in there and I can tell you the vibe and all that, then I can sit here and say, well, this event was such and such. I'll never speak on it if I didn't go.
right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want people to say, well, don't listen to Ed Hip. Everything he say is scheme.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a wrap for you after that.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a good point.
It seemed like you kind of got like the style part down too.
Ew, thank you.
So I like, and that's why I was like, I'm doing my research. So that's why I wanted you to like, let me know what you identify as, because I know it is like so many different sectors in the blogging world. So like, what originally got you into fashion? Like, obviously 4 years ago, it was more so like fashion and fitness. So what made you like kind of just fashion?
Well, I've always been interested in fashion. Growing up, my family didn't have a lot of money, but we will always like window shop. My mom taught me the art of window shopping. So I would beg to go to the mall during the weekends and just window shop. And I started, I don't know, just putting together pieces that I had that we were able to afford and just rocking it the way that I knew how.
Right.
And so, and then also I would talk about fashion. So I read a lot of magazines. My entire family were readers. And so I would read a lot, especially magazines, and I would want to talk to people about it.
Right.
And no one in my immediate circle was into fashion. So it was kind of like, oh, did you guys read it? And they're like, girl, bye. Like, I don't want to hear it. So I was like, I was almost like suppressing my love for fashion, and then eventually it was just like, forget that. I'm gonna just, yeah. That's
I'll
right.
tell the world.
That's right.
That's how we all start.
Somebody out there likes it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna connect with them.
I agree.
So,
I
yeah.
like that. So do you feel as though as your brand progress, there will be like different sectors coming after, like, fashion and fitness? Will there be anything like food related or?
Well, yeah, so that's where lifestyle kind of like ties everything in, because after a while when I started the blog, I was just strictly doing fashion, and I was like, I'm so much more than just fashion.
Yeah.
And there are different things and people that inspire me that I want to talk about. So that's when I kind of like branched off into doing more of the lifestyle where, I give my advice, whether it's how I'm feeling that day or something that I watched or a restaurant that I went to or was invited to that I wanted to write about. And so I started including like more lifestyle stuff, and now I feel like it's full circle.
Coming together, right?
It's about that feeling.
Yeah.
So speaking on it, how are y'all feeling about the Justin Bieber collection? This collection, I need emotion. I need to.
Well, I didn't know Justin Bieber dropped the collection until like 5 seconds ago.
Honestly speaking.
But it kind of goes like, and I'm no fashion expert, we all know that, but it kind of goes to like, why is fashion toning down? I feel like fashion before was just like fur and like, like glitter, gold. Like fashion was like out there. Now I feel like fashion is becoming like taking a step back, very monotone. Like everybody's into like very neutral colors, very subtle, very calm, like very minimal. So I'm like, why are we like, is that what fashion is in 2019?
I think fashion is always like a spinoff of where we are with music. As of right now, you see music is becoming the new political, outlet.
Yeah.
You got Meek Mill partnering up with Jay-Z. Yeah. And you got those type of things that's shaping our culture. So it's like, as of right now, you see with Meek Mill, he's representing people of the urban scene. So what do you wear in the urban scene? More lax clothing. We're not upwear, we're down. Yeah. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's
I never
like,
looked at it like that.
Yeah, that's where we are right now. And then when you got people who are more so at the top of their game, like the John Legend and all those people,
they still high fashion.
Yeah, you look at how I used to dress in 2008. I was way more casual because you got the yays with the backpack, and all that. And nowadays, you look at who we have on the radio, and look who we got. Stuff like this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like, at the end of the day, you got to look at what music has to do with fashion.
And I think it's interesting that you did bring up the Meek Mill and police reform thing. It's like, I feel like going back to the Justin Bieber question, I feel like the clothes kind of give me like Dickies.
Yeah, that's
on the
exactly
yard,
what I thought.
Like,
that's exactly what I thought.
Real like,
yeah.
I don't want to say in gel, but like very like, I don't know, because like at first, I mean it like when I looked at it, I wanted to say that it kind of reminds me of the original Yeezy collection with just the neutral tones, but it wasn't like as much. Like, I don't know, like it wasn't like, I wouldn't say like as scruffy as that, but it's just giving me, it's real boxy and just bland, and the models are bland. No offense to them if they're listening, but yeah, it's just, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But why do everybody who records music think they have to like tap into fashion?
Why did Justin Bieber drop a collection? Let's talk about that.
It's the same thing as what you said. Music dictates fashion.
Right.
So if you're in music, you're always, you got a
influence.
stylist. You always have to wear the latest clothing. So why not go into, like, it just makes sense based off of what you just said.
It just furthermore shows that the people, which is the artist who's creating these fashion brands, they're still being told. You're being told what your brand should look like. Right. Versus people like me who went to school, and if I said tomorrow I want to drop a clothing line.
Right. It was based off of
notebooks full of clothing and sketches, and it's like, that's original pieces. And nobody's telling me what to put out.
Right. I would like to know more about the background, and maybe we'll do some research on that and talk about that next episode. If we can do a little bit, like maybe there's some backstory to it. Maybe it represents something, but like the smiley face, what is it? Like a smiley face? I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't like it.
I don't know.
It's
a no for me.
Yeah, it's a hard no.
All right, so 3 no's from us, Justin Bieber. On to the next topic.
Facts.
All right, so like kind of getting back to the lifestyle thing. That's something that I kind of noticed about your Instagram and your website. You do like IG lives and kind of just like explaining like situations that's like everybody can kind of relate to.
Right.
So like, what gets you, like, how do you decide on your topics or like the content, like the type of stuff that you put out under your lifestyle umbrella?
Honestly, it's just how I feel. One thing that I've learned in this blogging process is that I'm not alone, that no matter how old I get, people the same age as me, even older than me, don't have it figured out. And I feel we have this mindset that once you hit a certain age, you're supposed to know everything.
Right.
And I was feeling like that. So I was like, you know what? During this process of growth and learning, I'm going to share it. And I've gotten so much more feedback from that because I realized there are other people who struggle with the same thing.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that, you know, I was uplifting and encouraging people who were in the same kind of mind state as me.
See, and clearly, there's not enough brands that actually consider the people that's buying into them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for you to even have that much of a conscience towards what you are trying to
Your
put
target
out.
audience.
Yeah.
It says a lot.
I mean, I love people at the end of the day. I went to college, majored in business and minored in psychology. So people and the way they think has always been a passion of mine. But I wanted to do it in a more unorthodox kind of way.
Right.
I like
Can you
that.
kind of explain like how does the psychology part tie into like the business and all that? Because people
that's
do
a
not
good
understand.
question.
Yeah, I mean, you have to know how people think or what they might think in order to cater to them the best way possible.
Right.
So I think part of it too is knowing why you're getting into something, and then once you understand why you're getting into it, then you can kind of maneuver with, you know, how do I best help these people? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I want it to be more of a community. That's why I started it, because there were people who felt alone like I did, and I want to make sure that the people who see my blog post or my social media, they can be like, I identify with that girl. She crazy, but I like her.
Right.
So yeah,
Makes sense. That definitely makes sense, because a lot of people don't realize that beyond like what you walk past and read on the ads, there's more of a conscience to a lot of brands. You know, some people target specific causes and specific movements, and a lot of us see past it and say, damn, I don't understand this collection, but this is geared towards heart disease, and you're knocking it, you know. So it's like when you can put involvement in like your brand, that like, I love my brand so much. I want to connect with the people who look like me, who's listening to me, you know, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely dope. Because I feel like now that I got to meet you as well as follow you on Instagram, I care about your cause now. You know what I mean? Because it's like I see somebody else who's making statements and look like me, and we out here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
That's we working. We working, okay?
Dope.
This is so random, but like this is so important. This is like my favorite topic. But you said you minored in psychology. I majored in sociology. So like I'm like, this is an important topic. I always want to talk about. We're gonna probably always talk about it on coachable behavior. So let's talk about the fashion and lifestyle industry and mental health.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. Let's do it.
Especially with you saying that you know, like you identify well with your target audience, which I think is just from a marketing aspect in general, branding aspect, is very important to know who your audience is, how they feel, how they want to feel from the things that you put out. But then just also just like acknowledging your mental health as a person who's developing all of these things and doing all of these things for everyone else and being mindful of everyone else. Like how does that like ultimately affect you?
It makes me so much more sensitive to other people and their mental state. I grew up in North Philadelphia, graduated from Strawberry Mansion High School, so I was a ghetto girl once upon a time, but I never understood kind of like the trauma that I experienced, not at home, but in going to Strawberry Mansion, like living in that community. And it wasn't until my sophomore year in college I was actually diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. And that was because I have seen people get shot. I've seen people just get beat up and jumped. And, you know, I even dated a guy who was murdered and his body was dumped on the front of my school steps. Like, but that was the life. That was the culture that I grew up in. So me, I'm just like, oh, cool. That's life. Like, well, not cool, but it was just like, just all right, like just take it on the chin and keep moving. And it wasn't until college that people were like, the fact that you can't function when it's quiet is a problem. And so once I kind of started talking to people, I started seeing counselors, and I was diagnosed, and I was just like, wow, okay, cool. But how many more people do I talk to on a daily basis via social media who are going through the same thing, who don't know that they have these issues? So I need to be more sensitive. I need to let people know that I'm there for them. I need to let people know, like, no matter what the numbers might say on my profile, DM me. Like, I can help you. We can help each other. Like, let's grow past this. So I'm just very passionate about, you know, people just understanding that mental illness is like It's out here.
Yeah,
it's out here.
I think that's very important. I too was born and raised in North Philly, and it's like we like just as black people, you know, like we just kind of become, whether you're in it directly or around it or know people that are in it, it just becomes like kind of numb. Just like, yeah, that's just like what happens. Like, you know, like people are just sad and angry all the time. Like that's just normal. Right. People aren't happy. People, like my parents, my grandparents, these people aren't happy. Our family, like, you know, like it's just like, that's just what's embedded in us. Yes. And it's like important to talk about, like, it's okay to say, hey, I'm not okay.
Yes.
You know, like it's okay to say, hey, like this makes me upset. Right. Like I feel like me personally, I'm like such a like happy-go-lucky person and like such a busybody all the time that it's like when I actually feel a certain way, I convince myself that I don't feel that way. I'm like, I'm not sad. Right. Like, but it's like, I'm sad.
You're sad on the inside.
I'm sad. And it's okay. I need to sit down, stop running around, stop trying to take me and stop trying to sit down and do all this other stuff and say, hey, listen, I'm sad. This made me sad. Yes. And I might can't fix it. Yeah. And it might happen again, but this made me sad. Right. And I'm sad.
Yes. Acknowledging and also speaking it, like saying it, talking it out. I feel like we always suppress stuff because we need to be strong, and it's okay to not be strong sometimes. Actually, I'm gonna rephrase that. If you feel sad, if you cry, it is not a sign of weakness. I was raised my entire life thinking sadness and crying because things weren't working out was weakness. And it's not. It takes more courage to acknowledge that you're upset, why you're upset, and even confronting the person that made you upset. It takes more courage doing that, so you are far from weak. You know, experiencing those emotions. It's a beautiful thing. Just let it flow. Ride the wave.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on that note, we're going to take a break. You are now watching Cultural Behavior Podcast with your host Ed Hip
and Sincerely Jasmine,
and we're here with JiJi, and we'll be back.
You are now back to Cultural Behavior. I'm your girl Sincerely Jasmine.
I'm your boy Ed Hip.
And we here with JiJi.
Hey.
I'm so happy I can call you JiJi.
Yeah, right. Please do.
Like we cousins now.
Right.
That's right.
So I got an important topic. While we was on break, we listened to a little Ariana Grande. So since we're on the topic of fashion, let's talk about fashion and culture. How do y'all feel about Ariana Grande? I don't know. Did y'all hear, like, y'all know what's going on with her in this song and the video?
I've never seen the video, but I've heard a lot about people's opinion on the song.
So the video, Ed probably like, I don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah, feel me.
So Ariana dropped a song called 7 Rings. I think 7 Rings. It's a bop. I like the song. It's catchy. But in the song, she's like, she bought her hair. Like, she just, it's a very black culture type song. It definitely got a flow similar to Soulja Boy, Pretty Boy Swag, which I thought was hilarious because Soulja Boy posted on Instagram when the video dropped some Ariana. Soulja Boy is crazy, but anyway, so she got a Soulja Boy flow. The video itself was shot at the Pink Trap House that's associated with Pretty Girls Love Trap. That's what it's called, right? Pretty Girls Love Trap.
Yeah, 2 Chainz.
So 2 Chainz, Soulja Boy, and then the line apparently, and I'm not like a fan or very familiar with Princess Nokia, but the line where she like talked about her hair or like basically saying that she bought her hair, apparently that was a line that Princess Nokia had said in one of her songs. And Princess Nokia is Hispanic, so I think the whole like rave is just like, well, it's this, you know, pop culture, like pop white girl saying,
like, how do we
stealing all
this?
These different pieces of the black culture, like obviously a Soulja Boy flow, obviously 2 Chainz type video, and then the lines are known to be pulled from different parts. So
I don't know how I feel about that, even though like I didn't really hear it, but just to hear that like nothing sounds like it relates to her actual culture, it's like a red flag to me, because it's like if I came in here right now with the Mexican get up on, it's like, okay, Ed, what's up with you? You know, so
you gotta explain.
You gotta come in here and let us know what you represent and like, what this is all about. You know, you can't just drop something and then expect us to just blend it in with the Cardi B's and all that and not wonder what this is about. You know what I mean? You buying your hair okay, we don't need to really know that.
Right.
You know what I mean? On top of that, you using the trap vibe. For me personally, I don't know if you would consider this culture or vulture. Like, I don't know what to call it, you know, honestly.
Yeah.
What do you take on this?
I mean, it's definitely, I wouldn't label it, of course, as black culture. However, black culture has always been a wave, though. Like, we've always been bombed. People always bit our style. Like, unfortunately, that is life. But my rule of thumb is quote your sources. Like, if you were inspired by somebody, say you were inspired by somebody. If this song made you think of something, like when Cardi B came out with Bodak Yellow, she said in interviews, like, I took Kodak Black's flow in this song, and it's just like, quote your sources. I like the song, I vibe to it, but I take it at face value. That's just what it is. She just riding up. I mean, she like black people,
right? And then we talking about like the fact that I guess a lot of people argue about like whether she's Hispanic or if she's like half black, but it's like Ariana Grande is 100% white. Like, so like, let's not try to make excuses for it. Like, she's definitely white, so that's 100% a fact. So I guess people are having a problem with her just like tanning her skin a little bit more, which I think all white women are doing right now. I think that's just a trend.
It's very
it's
weird.
Wintertime right now. Who wants to be golden?
I mean, a lot of people, surprisingly. Listen, melanin pops. People love it when the sun hits that golden skin and then the flakes just bounce. Like, we are lit, period. Like, you know what I mean? And you know, listen, if you want to tan, do you, boo. But I don't like it when people use darkening their skin to identify more with a specific type of group of people. That's when I have a problem.
Like, with the video, it was like, she definitely was brown as hell in that video.
I gotta see this.
The signature ponytail, long weave ponytail. So I mean, I'm used to that.
So she was on her Kim Kardashian.
But I'm happy you brought that up, because it's like, so we have this like, all right, everybody's attacking Ariana Grande, but what about like all the other white women that we love that like, you know, or not attack, but rather still the black culture.
I mean, just
like, but
I
can't think of a phrase to kind of water it down. But what about the other people? So it's like, why are we attacking Ariana, but then like keeping up with the Kardashians?
Facts.
Because like you said, like they're attacking like white women, or that no one knew what she was. Right. My thing is, why are you saying Grande? Like, Grande is
no, she went on an interview and like pronounced her name correctly. She said that her name is pronounced Grandy. Wow. But people call her Grande. But she said, no, my name is Ariana Grande.
Right here,
you gotta know. Yeah.
Wow. I had no idea. So that's all new to me.
I heard that here too.
Okay,
just for
so
the record.
she's definitely white.
Facts.
And not Hispanic, and her last name's not Grande.
Nope.
Whoa.
Yeah.
See that was the other side. I'm thinking Grande when
I
seen that.
I think that's another thing. Just like going back to us talking about psychology, it's just one of those things. You see a Spanish word, and you see this tan girl with this high ponytail, very
and
sleek.
now she's Selena.
So you're like, that's definitely Selena's cousin. Like,
right.
So you like, there has to be some type of connection.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to backtrack, but y'all heard about Yes Jules? Everybody familiar with Yes Jules?
Please do tell.
So I think, and I don't know for sure because I did not listen to this song, but she apparently dropped a song, and the internet's mad at Yes Jules again. The black community, we do this thing. My problem with Yes Jules is that we do this thing where it's like, one day we hate Yes Jules, the next day we're booking Yes Jules for our like Miami beach party, and then like it's just like this back and forth. Like, let's pick a side and like stick with it. Like, I think like as a whole, like as a community, we need to pick a side with this girl, because we're giving her too much leverage. And we're giving her too much attention.
Since we are speaking on it in that manner, for those who do not know who she is or what she sings or anything, could you tell us, like, who is this individual?
That's the thing. Like, she's not really anyone.
Because I'm like,
okay. Do you know who Yes Jules is?
Yes.
Okay, so how would you describe it?
She's more.
She's definitely like an influencer.
She's definitely an influencer, promoter, / manager. So
I think she just got into management. But no, she's not known as an artist.
Right.
So this song is something new.
But she does manage a lot of artists.
She does manage.
Like, one of my favorite. I'm not gonna say favorite, but one person that I really love that she manages is 070 Shake.
Oh,
from Jersey.
She manages. Oh, wow.
And I love 070 Shake. But yeah, that's how I found out who Yes Jules was like a couple years ago. Yeah.
And that explains me.
I'm just familiar with her brand, like the whole never not working thing. But like just being in tune with social media, I just know that our community's always on and off with this girl. Like, you know, like one day it's like, oh, she's the biggest culture vulture known to mankind. And then we keep allowing her to get back into the realm of stealing, you know, our identity or stealing what we, you know, we're blaming her for. So it's like, are we to blame? Like, you know, like why?
Absolutely.
I think we need to pick a side. It's a no for me, Yes Jules.
But what was the song? What's the song about?
I don't know. I'm not that into her. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like I picked my side. My side was I don't follow her. Like, you know, like that's.
I'm saying her like I need to know what this is about.
No, I've just been seeing it trending. Like, so I'm like, okay, I see the internet hates Yes Jules again. And she apparently because of a song. Yeah. But yeah,
that's very interesting, and that's one thing where it's like knowing yourself. You see, like the whole entire time we were speaking, we were talking about knowing yourself and identity. And it's like clearly, if somebody love you one week and hate you the next, there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's nowhere in hell.
You keep putting yourself back in this ring, this arena to be like completely, you know, destroyed.
Right. And the last thing you want to do is put yourself in a predicament where you're giving your all, but then your all is what does your career. Right. Because your all is being inserted in the wrong area.
Right.
And with the wrong people and stuff like that. Because today the internet got one click and it kill your whole career. You know what I mean? One repost and it'll kill your career. So you got to be cautious of who you are before you hit that submit or that post button and all that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
Because
100%.
At the end of the day, once it hit the internet,
once it's out there, it's out there
forever.
I remember I'm sorry, it's a random story, but once it's out there, it's out there. I had this random picture of me that got turned into a meme and went viral on Facebook, and it was real weird. So like, be careful. Like,
oh my god!
Once it's out there, I couldn't even be mad. I'm like, well, I did post this on a gram, and my gram is in private, so like, I guess do what you want. Like, but it was definitely like, it was like a Christian like Jesus quote. So I was like, cool, that's nice.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It
wasn't like, for the person who was trying to slander you, though. That wasn't cool.
Like, it wasn't anything bad, but yeah, that happened.
We're gonna take a quick break. You are now tuned into Cultural Behavior Podcast with your boy Ed Hip.
And I'm sincerely Jasmine.
And we're here with JiJi.
It's me.
Be right back. Hey y'all back to Cultural Behavior. I'm sincerely Jasmine.
And I'm your boy Ed Hip.
And we still here with JiJi.
I'm here.
I just want to thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule to come sit down with us.
No problem.
Especially as we're like just getting things flowing. I'm like, yeah, she popping. She don't
Yo,
like,
listen,
so cute.
and the
Thank
energy
you.
was there. And like I'm a real like energy based person.
Same.
That's right.
Even, you know, no matter what the circumstances is, if it's work or just something fun.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think we made a good genuine connection here today.
Absolutely. Good vibe only.
For sure. So tell everybody where they can find you at, website, social media.
Yeah. Okay. So my website is thefashionanalyst.com. You can follow me on Instagram at The Fashion Analyst. The same with Facebook, The Fashion Analyst. Twitter, I'm _Fashion Analyst because, you know, you only get 15 characters. And they were like, no, girl, that's too many letters. So _Fashion Analyst. And if you're interested in learning tips and tricks about influencing, blogging, and growing your brand, check me out also on Instagram at BLK_influence, which is Black influence.
Yes, I know me and Ed gonna be following that as soon as we get out of here.
I'm probably following you now. I don't know. That's just how in tune I am with people doing those kind of things.
Awesome sauce.
Make sure y'all definitely check her out.
And you can obviously follow us on Instagram, Cultural Behavior, and tune in next time. So I just want to thank you, JiJi, for pulling up a seat at our table.
Absolutely. Anytime.
All right, and I'm your girl, sincerely Jasmine.
I'm your boy Ed Hip.
And tune into Cultural Behavior next time.